this, we're going to take down your Instagram. I've had to make over 10 Instagram pages. They would take them down like nothing. Facebook, same thing. YouTube, I'm constantly having to redo something to the point of where I had to go over to OnlyFans. I have to work my ass off, and to see this fucking well-dressed, sharp-dressed fag be able to just take my shit like this, blatantly take it. I know what I went through to get where I am. I'm a fucking original. You don't find no, every time I fucking sing, they used to make fun of me, telling me how lame it fucking was. Now all these niggas singing. They used to tell me YouTube ain't no show, nigga. You ain't no real show host, you just a YouTuber. Tariq Nasheed was one of them niggas who did it. Now after they put me through hell, they're all YouTubing, they're all show hosts. You begging for money with them Cash Apps and PayPal. Now they all doing it? Do you understand how that shit feels? To constantly have to fight through to break down a wall only to watch everybody else walk in? I don't get to enjoy the fruits of none of my damn labor. I gotta keep being different. I gotta keep trying something new. I gotta keep doing something different. I gotta keep coming up with new gimmicks because you keep taking mine. And you know what's the last part that's really frustrating? When I do what I normally do and somebody come tells me you're trying to be like Kevin Samuels. Let me ask you something. How frustrating would that be to you, Katrina? If the dress you've been wearing for 8 years, when you put it on, somebody tell you trying to dress like the girl who was your...
Not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this year we're going to talk about Tommy Sotomayor versus Kevin Samuels. Now, yesterday, Tommy Sotomayor had a live stream where he went off like a maniacal madman on what he considers identity theft by Kevin Samuels. Now, I've known of these allegations and these accusations before by Tommy. He went on a rant before about this. I was reluctant to do a video, because I don't know, nobody watches my videos. But is Tommy Sotomayor warranted, and his claim? No. According to Tommy Sotomayor, he's pretty much done everything. Like all YouTubers, big and small, should thank him. He's like the first person ever did a Cash App or did a live stream, or I give him, what I'm saying, he's done a lot. Tommy has had a good run on YouTube. He made a lot of money and so forth. But Tommy's channel was falling off, even before Kevin Samuels' meteoric rise. And trust me, I'm not the biggest Kevin Samuels fan. So I'm going to get into some of the things he says too, which, I have a disagreement that seems very flawed. But, as Tommy Sotomayor sort of slips into oblivion, he's going to be grasping straws here. And I'm entertained. I'm entertained by Tommy Sotomayor wanting to go full blast at Kevin Samuels. I seriously doubt Kevin Samuels is going to react, because that's not how he builds his channel. That's not what his channel is based upon. Kevin Samuels is so operates in his own world. I'm like, first of all, let's go into the big difference. I'm like, Tommy, he more so reacts off clips, clips somebody sees, which a lot of YouTubers, and he does his sort of his own brand of commentary. As I said before, Kevin Samuels and so forth, it's more about dialogue between him and another person. Specifically, and I said specifically, not pacifically, black women and so forth. Matter of fact, Kevin Samuels' channel has become really, I've noticed, like female power. He's not even giving men a voice. But Tommy has also Tommy has constantly accused people for trying to rip him off. One guy, Philip Scott, African diaspora and so forth, whose channel surpassed Tommy. He even made rants against Willie D. Willie D also just reacts and does his commentary off clips. Willie D, he talks slow and does the bare minimum. Willie D is also very liberal, of course, it's a different Willie D from Gangster of Love and You Gotta Let a Hoe Be a Hoe. But, I think people have grown, Tommy's channel has always seemed sort of deadlocked to me. It can only get to a certain point. And Tommy would tell you that he doesn't have 1 million views because his channel keeps deleting. But he'll get up to about 300, 350,000 and so forth, maybe 400,000. He never cracked 1 million, I saw. But he'll have videos reaching the millions and videos going viral. It's just that Tommy, I'm like, he can't sustain and just grow an audience. He says stuff to piss off his own people. I'm like, and then Tommy, he will alienate his own audience. Like, for instance, when that whole MAGA shit, there was a time when Tommy was a gun-ho Trump supporter. He had the MAGA hat, MAGA shirts, and so forth. He likes to inject his own politics. I'm like, if you support Trump, and that's good, but be your own fucking man. And that's the reason. And then the fact that he'll embrace white supremacists like David Duke, or, and then you have groups, websites like Stormfront, copying Tommy's videos and so forth, sharing Tommy's videos. So Kevin Samuels is on a whole, he's at a level of sophistication beyond that. Yeah, I admit the similarities are black women. Let's face it, black women are the goose that laid the golden egg. Remember, it was a black woman that caused Kevin Samuels to go viral. Ultimately, yeah, it was Kevin Samuels, his harsh truth, or whatever, in a place where he talks, he's well dressed, very articulate, and he'll tell you the business. But it was a black woman that put that battery in his back. And this is one of my gripes against Kevin Samuels, is that he's given such a strong platform to women. Specifically, and I said specifically, not pacifically, black women. I understand that I guess he's fighting for men and so forth, and he's going to dish out this the realism. He's going to dish out this the grits. But still, I'm like, if we go into the old days, men didn't really talk to women like that. Men huddled with men, and women did their own things with women and so forth. We didn't really, a man shouldn't tell women what men are going to do and so forth, and have this conversation. I'm like, could you imagine a female YouTuber, who just talks to men and tell men about females' dirty little secrets about, that when we go out on dates for you, most of the time is just to get a free meal. So that's how I noticed. But still, that's what's going to get you there. Talking about black women. Women. I know it's women in general, but the focus on, because you mainly see black women and so forth. Now, I would give Kevin Samuels props for one thing he did. I'm like, he was having a smoke show, and some women who was a non-black woman was saying that in her, she said she agreed with Kevin Samuels, and in her country, and Kevin Samuels cut her off, and he said, I'm not going to give you the privilege to talk about black women, not on my platform. I give him props for that. Tommy Sotomayor would have never done it. Tommy Sotomayor, he encourages white women and so forth to slander black women. So I have to give Samuels his props. And I know that I'm sounding like a Kevin Samuels submarine writer. No, but don't confuse me with O.J. Duke Jackson. Now, shout out to O.J. Duke Jackson. But yeah, so I think, you know, Tommy, you know, I'm like, that video was sort of sad. It was sort of sad and depressing. Now I can admit that I do kind of like the old YouTube. You know what I'm saying? This whole Hotep's verse, the quote unquote coons, people like Aqueezy 100, Davy Carl, Painless Risen. Boy, things have changed now. Now everybody's formulating their channel to be like Kevin Samuels. You know, and just take his clips, you know. So they say, hey, if you can't beat him, join him. And at the end of that really pathetic video, Tommy's video, he was even rapping. You know, he was bringing up these old rap songs that he made in 1999, trying to convince us that he's always been on this bitches ain't shit type kick. I'm like, well, that's pretty much a lot of rappers, especially rappers from the South. And his rapping was pretty pathetic. I'm like, his rapping makes dang near King Von seems like Rakim. His rapping actually makes the rappers who got the little surname like Little Baby or Dub Baby or Little Cry Baby or Little Fetus actually sound good. I'm like, it's horrible. I'm like, you're seeing this man having an extreme emotional breakdown. But right now, the Kevin Samuels train is going full speed. I don't think there's nothing that can stop it. You know what I'm saying? Not at this point. You know, Tommy had his run. You know, he did his thing, made a lot of money. He didn't produce that Fatherless America video and so forth. But, you know, I'm enjoying the bullfight. But, and Tommy Sotomayor is the matador, and Kevin Samuels the bull that's not even paying attention to him. But that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Never stop learning.